Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome back to our channel Rodi's Realtors. We are your favorite realtors from Dubai Real Estate, Rohan and Disha. See, this video is basically towards a many number of questions were coming to us from our relatives, from our family, from especially the investors who were investing with us in Dubai since a very long time and who want to invest right now at this moment in Dubai as well, because the kind of geopolitical situation we are currently in, and since the date that war has started, today we are standing here on 14th of March. It's exactly 3 weeks after the war has started, and the kind of dynamics changed we have seen into the market, especially into the entire geopolitical situation. I felt there was a need for us to come in front of the camera and at this one single location address to all the questions which every single person out there is having, because the kind of claims were made through media channels that whatever we are basically saying in front of the camera and basically sharing our views was a fake PR or a paid PR done by us. We were getting paid from the government, and eventually the way it was shown outside as well, regardless of the fact what we are doing, but especially what media channels were doing. Not only the Indian media I would like to question here, but even UK media, Europe media, the kind of panic these guys were creating, taking photos from COVID time and posting them onto their main channels and stating that the Dubai has become a ghost city. When I was listening to from my parents, my father told me that, okay, looking at here that in the coming 3 weeks there will not be any food supply in Dubai. You guys would not have water to drink. The prices of the oil will go high. You guys will not have any jobs. What is the situation? People are here claiming that every single thing over there is getting blasted. The missile interceptions which you guys are claiming are actually the blasts which are happening, and so many questions. When I used to speak to the investors, and when they used to ask me, Rohan, I feel like because of the situation the construction must be on a halt, and because of this the timeline for the handovers will also get delayed. Will this impact the market, and what is the current situation of the market in between all this chaos? So I felt that coming in front of the camera and giving my perspective towards all of these things is something which is more important at this moment, rather than selling properties and doing what I used to do before. I thought coming in front of the camera and giving the exact scenario of the situation over here is very important. So today I'm going to answer to many of the questions which I was hearing to from many certain individuals, and I would like to give my opinion towards those particular points, so that at least you guys will have a certain clarity about the things which are happening here, and somehow it will be helpful for many of you to decide what has to be done in the coming time in the current scenario. So thank you so much anyways till date to support us, and I can guarantee you, I can take a pledge here that we are gonna continue our work doing so in the coming future as well, because we personally know the kind of situation we were in our own country and the kind of situation we are currently in, especially here in UAE. One thing for sure I can say, if this same situation would have been my own country, and I am from India, I love my country, the kind of corruption is there, the kind of situation, the crisis management techniques which has been used in India, even when the war is not happening in India, right at this moment people are in panic. Like last couple of days or a week I have been going through the news in India as well, that there's been a panic happening. People are going to petrol pumps buying petrol in bulk. The people are going to LPG stores, and there's been a news that LPG shortage will happen, and all of this is basically creating a chaos when it was not supposed to happen. The media channels basically needs to understand that they are here in this world to guide people towards the right thing, not to misguide people and create a chaos. I understand TRP is a certain thing because of which your salaries are getting paid, but it's your job to give the right information to the people rather than misguiding them. So I felt I am not a geopolitical expert to give any opinion on all the situations, but I can at least give you a clarity on the situation which are happening here, so that the kind of questions at least I am having, the answer should be clear in front of everyone. So I would request each and everyone, if you're a resident of Dubai, you're a resident of UAE, you are the resident of the whole globe, you are sitting in any part of the world, and you are curious about what all things are happening here, please watch the video till the end. Thank you. At the start of the video, I actually wanted to highlight a certain point which I have gone through a lot in last many days, that people were more curious about what is gonna happen to Dubai real estate more than what is happening in between Iran, Israel and USA, in between which the war is actually happening. You guys all need to understand that none of the Middle East countries, especially the GCC countries, Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman or UAE, are an active part of the war. These all countries are actually being the collateral damage in between the war which is happening in between Israel, USA against to Iran. And they have their own reasons. I don't want to speak on to that behalf, but us being the collateral damage in between all of this situation has created a lot of panic, especially to the people who were investing into Dubai, considering it to be a safe haven. And I can guarantee you, even today, I am in my office shooting this video, and I can still guarantee you this is the safe haven, because the kind of approach we have had during this war situation. I am looking at the data of Ministry of Interior of UAE, which is actually an official information which get posted every single day on their page, and I can see here very practically that since the date the exact war was started and we started hearing to the interceptions of the air missiles were happening, more than 1600 drones came towards UAE, 15 cruise missiles, 294 ballistic missiles which all came towards UAE to attack us. And the missile interception method, the defense system which UAE had, has 92% interception successful ratio. That is the highest. Especially the kind of defense system which UAE has, which is THAAD missile system, are one of the few countries which basically has such. USA owns it, along with that Saudi has it, and also UAE has it. And because of which today, while being on the ground, we feel safe. Whatever is happening on the air is something which is being taken care of. And for all the incidents which we all have seen, like it started from Fairmont Hotel, that on the entry side of Fairmont the debris fall, then it went towards Dubai Hills Estate, some part of City Walk, then it happened couple of days back in front of DIFC, then today in the morning at Al Quoz, and all of these fires which have started, and especially apart from this in Abu Dhabi, Al Dafra, in Oman, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, all the fire incidents which we have seen coming up onto the news channels are all have happened because of the debris falling on the ground after the successful missile interception. And after all of these missile interceptions as well, number of casualties we had, unfortunately it's 6, but considering the kind of barrage we had of the missiles coming towards UAE, it could have been a lot bigger number. But the number being such smaller, we know the kind of steps have been taken by the government. Especially we as a residents, we get messages right in the real time from the government stating us that there is a missile interception is happening, please stay inside. And within an hour we get a message that the situation has been handled well and you guys can come out and live your normal life. That's how nicely these things have been taken care. During Operation Sindoor in India, when Pakistan was actually launching drones towards India, people were asked to black out, like the lights were kept off so that no one could detect. Here in UAE we never faced that challenge. Our lights are on, everything is on. We were only asked to stay indoors when the missile interceptions were happening. And especially, let me give you a very clear understanding. In the initial stage of missile interception, it was daily 100 to 150 drones, missiles together were coming towards UAE. Today that number has came down to 10 to 30 at the max. So the kind of interceptions we were looking at earlier and kind of interception we are looking at today has gone down a lot, because there have been discussions happening in between the hierarchies, and for sure the situation will also come down. But the exact idea what I wanted to share in front of you all people, that please do not create any panic. We need to understand, I have a strong heart, I can go through this panic very comfortably, but not everyone has the same mental strength to basically go through the situation very strongly. People might go into depression, anxiety, especially for us sitting here working. Our parents back home, they are in more stress than us, because the kind of way news media channels have shown it to the world, especially thanks to AI, I should say. These news channels have gotten a new way to showcase a certain thing in a much drastic way to the people, that people are also believing that. And why should not they? Because it looks more realistic. But let me show you, like we are living here in the entire crisis zone, but we have never felt a single day unsafe during this situation. Yes, we were into panic. I would not say that we were not scared. Yes, we were scared, because Dubai, we always thought it's the safest city. And even today, I would continue saying so. Because if after all of these things happening surrounding to us, if we are safe, if we can go to our offices, go to cafes, have our coffee, chat with our friends, meet clients, and do our day-to-day work, then we are into safest city of the entire world. And I would actually keep saying the same thing in the future as well. and for sure very soon we will come back very stronger from this situation, because the way things are moving ahead, the way the government is also taking steps to make sure that things are coming back to the place, are something which is more important to understand. Now, apart from this, the kind of questions which were asked to me, that in between the situation which is happening, how is gonna be the situation of Dubai real estate market? Now, I'll tell you very frankly that the way we were expecting the market to behave during the situation, we were expecting that there might be some panic sellers coming up, especially the people who are getting the handovers or who have already gotten the handover and who are planning to sell their properties. Because of the situation, they would rather sell their property right now and move out from the city. That was something which was an expectation of many people, because in the first to second week I have gotten around 100 messages from different clients asking for a distressed deal, because that has happened earlier as well during COVID time, because COVID basically stretched for a couple of years, and during that couple of years of time every single thing was uncertain in front of us, and that is why there were panic sales happening. But people have learned from that phase, not only COVID, but before to that 2008 crisis, 2014 crisis, 2019-20 crisis of COVID, even during 2023 when flood situation happened, and today in 2026 when this war situation is going on, we have seen all of this happening in front of us, and we have seen UAE coming back stronger every single time. So the trust of the investors in the market is much stronger. The people who are actually repatriating from UAE are not the residents in larger number, rather the tourists who wanted to go back to their own country because they don't have a shelter here. Being very honest, I have a home here, so that's why I know if anything happens I still have a home to go back. But for the tourists who are coming here, they were not having shelters. But even if you'll ask and if you'll see the interviews of those people, they're still saying the same thing, that the kind of hospitality they have gotten from UAE government is something which is uncomparable to any of the countries outside there in the world. Because this crisis is not only happening in UAE, the crisis is happening in each part of the world. There are wars happening every single place. But when you look at those countries and when you look at the same situation here and the way we all are basically living our lifestyles over here, you will see a very huge difference, and that way it will basically justify in front of all of you that why do we call our country, our city, Dubai, to be the safest heaven for you all. So answer to my question is, as there were no panic sales, the trust of the investors have stood strong with us. We have not seen market falling down, rather the transactions are happening every single day. Yes, the scope of transactions has lowered. Initially when projects were getting launched, they were getting sold out on day one. That is not the same situation today. Developers will take some time to sell off their inventory, but that's a part and parcel of the entire sales cycle. The sales transactions have not stopped, but they have lowered. That is the practical situation. Especially to all the brokers over there who have recently started in the market, I would give you a very practical idea that coming 6 months are going to be very crucial, because the market is gonna go in a very slow pace. So if your entire career is dependent on this, and if you don't have a backup, then please start a new job. But if you have a backup, and if you someone who is a veteran over here, I know even you know that the situation is gonna fall out in a nicer way in the future. Now after this, the questions which most of the investors had, that we have already invested in the off-plan property, what do you think is going to be a construction timeline for the project? Are they gonna hamper because of this situation? My answer to this question would be no. Because when any projects in off-plan market gets launched, there is a tentative timeline of 2 years to 4 years in front of the developers. If you look at the actual construction timeline, looking at Binghati as a developer, that developer basically delivers your property within 10 months to 14 months of cycle. And the same kind of, not exactly the same, but just up below, the same construction therapy has been used by other developers as well. Why do developers take time to develop a certain community or a building? Because they wanted to give you that fine finished version, so the day it will be handed over, it is ready for the end user to stay in. So they still have the leverage of 1 year in between. So I don't think there will be a huge gap in between the construction timelines. Construction timelines are gonna be staying the same. Minus plus 6 months would be a situation which we are looking at. About the pricings, for now we have not seen market going down. The only thing which I have mentioned to you earlier is that the market transactions rate have gone down a bit, because to create the same confidence in front of the people again will take some time, and that is the fact of the market we need to understand, and we need to work on that. Right now at this moment, the best thing we can do as consultants is to comfort and give the confidence to our investors that whatever is happening near surrounding to, especially to the new investors who have recently started investing, they must be in the panic. We should give confidence to them, because if the traditional investors are not backing out, we should not also. We should stay firm during our decision, because real estate gives you wealth over the course of years. It's not something that you put money today and you earn money tomorrow. And this is what I was always telling in all my videos since the day I started, that real estate में पैसा बनता है time देने के बाद. You need to have patience during this entire course. Anything can happen, but you need to have the leverage of the time with you, not the money. If you have the leverage of the time with you alongside with the money on the backup, you will surely make profit in the future. And this situation, even if it continues for next 6 months, you will still come back stronger, and all your investments which you have made or you're planning to make the investments will surely give you a profit in the future. And we have seen that during COVID phase, when the properties were sold, especially at a dipper price or at the same market price, have seen up to 60%, goes up to 200% of capital appreciation in last 4 to 5 years after COVID. Especially the examples like Villanova, then Arabian Ranches 3, along with that Burj Al Furjan as an area. Those communities have actually seen up to 200% capital appreciation in the years throughout after the COVID. So this is the same thing which we are going to also see in the market after this situation comes down. And why investments were happening in UAE? We need to understand, not because of the flashy buildings, not because of the payment plans, only the tax-free income, but UAE was a solution to multiple problems people were facing all throughout the globe. For Indians, it was tax. For UK people, it was tax alongside with the safety. For Europe, it was also a safety concern. So we need to understand why people were coming to Dubai, because they knew the kind of lifestyle they will be entering into along with their family, not only for the lifestyle of a person individual, but the entire ecosystem of the business which you can grow. In 2020, I have the data in front of me. In 2020, number of businesses, registered companies in UAE were around 650,000 companies. Today in 2025, we have more than 1.45 million companies registered in UAE. That's how huge the scope of businesses coming to UAE has increased. And on the safety level, Dubai has 16% crime index, whereas compared to other countries like New York, it has 53%, London has 67%, Mumbai has 45%. When you look at these numbers, you will surely be able to see that Dubai is still the safest city, and along with that, Abu Dhabi has been named 9 consecutive years as the safest city across the world as number 1. Along with that, the violence rate in UAE, especially in Dubai, is 0.6 against 100,000 people, whereas in New York it is 6 against 100,000 people. In UK, there are more than 17 people against 100,000 people who get stabbed through knife. The robberies which has happened over there. Today, when I'm office at 6 p.m. and if my wife is out there for a meeting, I am still assured that she will come back safely even during this crisis situation. So that is the kind of safety net this entire city has basically given us, and which basically gives us more confidence going forward with the city. Next most important thing we need to understand is the petrodollar scenario. All these Middle East countries, why do you think Iran is attacking all the GCC countries when they can directly attack USA as well? Because the location of USA make them the most safest place, because they are into the different hemisphere as compared to the other continents. On this side of the continent, we have Africa, Middle East, Asia, Australia, all of these countries along with Europe, and the next side is basically USA. So even if Iran tries to attack directly on US, they don't have the backup today to directly attack them because of the distance in between these two continents. Whereas because of the petrodollar scenario, what US does, US provides the military support to all the GCC countries, and in return to that, they basically take oil from these countries. So the dirhams, like UAE's currency dirham, is pegged to dollar for next 100 years, and that is why even if you see today on 28th of Feb, the dirham's value was around 24.60. Today it is at 25.21. So the dirham's value has increased. Have you seen in any scenario during the war situation for any country the currency has increased in valuation? It has never happened. Because of petrodollar scenario, this is happening in UAE, and that is why we are safe in terms of the economy. Now, considering to the GDP of UAE as well, we need to also understand when people are questioning UAE that because of this war your whole scenario is done, you guys are gonna be doomed. We need to understand the kind of debt we have across the whole globe is only 30% against to the GDP value of ours, whereas there are countries in Europe which has 130% debt compared to the GDP of that country. You tell me as an investor, if you are an investor who wanted to invest into a business which has 130% debt as compared to their own economy towards a company which has only 30% debt, who would you choose? Be an ideal person and give me an answer to this. And that is why we should understand that we are not a city or a country which is only saying words, but this is a data driven understanding which I am trying to give you, all of you, so that while you are making decisions in your head whether you should continue with your investment or whether you should make more investments or not right now, this will give you a very good clarity towards the things which are happening here. Next, like my father asked me this, that I have been looking at the news and listening that you guys don't have food preserves in the coming time. UAE has given us a very good clarity that this country has next 4 to 6 weeks reserved food supply available. Show me a country which has that amount of food supply available along with crude oil. Today in India, why do our people panicking about LPG shortage or petrol? Because they don't have the reserves with them. Whereas the city is rich in food, water, energy and oil as well, and that is something which is the most important thing. Especially having no rivers, we are heavily dependent on the desalination plants, and UAE's desalination plants are solar powered. So even if there is no energy, because of solar energy, we are still very independent on the desalination plants to have us water in the coming ages as well. Next important task which we need to understand is the airspace. We do understand the interceptions are happening in the air, but on the 3rd of March the airspace of UAE was opened, and even till date the flights are moving back and forth from all the other countries towards UAE even till today's date, whereas the airspace for other countries like Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain have not been opened yet. The kind of damage which other countries like Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman have seen, and the kind of damage we have seen as UAE, if you just compare that damage itself, you'll be able to know the kind of system we have here in place, the defense system, and the way we have done crisis management against this is something which has shown more confidence to the people to stay in UAE even during this crisis. Apart from the GDP to debt ratio, we also have 2.4 trillion worth of sovereign wealth with us. That is the main backup we have. So what's the main agenda investors and the budding investors should look at? You should understand the person who makes money is the person who basically stands firm even during the crisis situation. During COVID, when the people who have invested in Dubai, they have gotten each year 20% year-on-year growth. So buy the dip. That is what I would suggest you. Even during this situation timeline, it is more important for you guys to hunt for the right opportunity into the market. Don't go for the distressed deals, because distressed deals will always ask you for upfront cash, especially for any category of projects. Let's suppose you get something in Oasis for a chance. If there is a seller who wants to sell, the project value, the property value for any unit is more than 10 million dirhams. You would be asked to pay upfront 60 to 80%, because the person also has to pay back to the developer so that he gets the NOC. And putting that much amount of cash, if you don't have a stable job and if you don't have an extra surplus cash lying around with you, it makes no sense to go for those set of distressed deals. Rather go for a good off-plan investment available in the market with a reputed developer with the right inventory, and that is where we come in. Come to us. If you are really looking forward for an investment option in Dubai is not yet done. We have a long way to go. We have our 2040 urban master plan and 2033 economic agenda, and you guys will see that happening in the future regardless of the situation of the war continues howsoever. So I have the trust on the government. I have the trust on the market. If you guys have the same trust or you guys have any questions, reach out to us. I have tried to cover most of the points in my entire video. But still, apart from that, if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to us. We will be happy to give you the right idea about this market situation and would able to guide you going forward as well. I'll keep coming back in front of the camera to give you guys a real ideology about what all things are happening, and then giving you the same guideline that what we should do in this situation to make sure that we are not losing on money, rather we are making money even during this situation. So thank you so much for trusting us till date. Thank you so much for supporting us. Keep your support as it is, and we will make sure that we will guide you the right way possible. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.